Hey, yo, what's going on? I'm Josh Martinez of 103.5 Kiss FM and iHeartRadio with my guest, Charlie Puth. What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
I'm digging the fingernails. Got them painted. I like it.
Yeah, they're coming off. It's raggedy.
Hey, you know what, though? That's the new vibe, right? If it's a vibe, you should be part of it.
I actually think that is the vibe, and I think people actually strive to have chipped nails like me nowadays. It's kind of a... I can't do gels, though. I hear they're bad for your cuticles or something like that.
Oh, I got the worst fingernails ever. I have like really bad, just like nervous energy. So I'm constantly picking at them. Like as you and I are talking.
You know what you have to do, because my friend is like that as well. You put this disgusting numbing stuff on the tip of it, and if you're like doing this, it just, you're like, well, you don't do it anymore.
I tried that as a kid with nail hardener.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I still, like, to me, it was a challenge to just pick at it. But trauma and daddy issues will make you do all that. So here we are.
That's the name of the next album, I guess.
There we go. So speaking of the album, we know it's dropping in October. Why the name Charlie? Of all things, just Charlie.
It felt simple, and the songs are simple, but they're complex behind the scenes. And I don't want people to... If it was a concept album, I would make the songs more obviously complex, but I want people to relate to this music as much as possible. And how do you do that? You make the songs with a universal message and easy to digest musically. But they don't know behind the scenes I'm like looking at every waveform and making sure that, you know, it hits on radio in a certain way. So it's perceived simple, but is actually complex, which is my being, I guess.
Well, listen, let's keep it real. The whole TikTok thing, it's not a gimmick. It's really who you are as an artist.
Here I am. That's me. You just haven't seen many TikToks in this room because we just finished making this room. But the reason why I started TikTok in the first place was to involve people in my musical process, because in turn, I think if I'm performing in front of people when I'm writing a song, it makes the song more vibrant. It's like making a mix CD for your friends in where I'm from, in Jersey, and then playing them the CD and them getting all excited about track 5, you know?
So when do you remember the last time you put together a mix CD?
Yeah, well, when I had a CD burner, so probably 2010.
Do you remember when you put together your mix CDs? Was it like particularly laid out, like boot knocking bangers, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I killed it in 2005. I think I put everybody, when they made their mix CDs, it was a real thing in 2005 to, especially in Jersey where I'm from, to put chill music at the front of your CD. Like track 1 would be Jack Johnson. Nothing wrong with Jack Johnson and John Mayer, and then you get to the music that would be played at school dances, like Candy Shop. But I start with Candy Shop is like number 1, and then I'd go into just a little bit with like the double Scott Storch produced 50 Cent record, and it would just be like banger, banger, banger. And then in the middle, like a concert, then I would put the chill music. So everyone liked my mix CD is the best. Going on a tangent right now.
No, listen, that to me, I always thought, like, I'll never forget, like, I'm gonna age myself. On my Windows Media Player,
that's right. Windows Movie Maker and Windows Media Player, you had the little graphics when you'd put it in. You'd Music Match Jukebox and Napster and LimeWire. Don't pretend you didn't use it. Everybody used it.
Right, and then you got to do Alt-Enter to get the full screen without the little play on the bottom, so you see the abstract rainbows.
You know, I almost bought an old computer on eBay, just to, not to use for business or anything, but just to have, I should do that. It's still in my shopping cart. I just want an old computer just to have.
We should set a challenge for you to incorporate some sort of AOL sound to a song, whether like it's
the buddy sign in, the
door opening, the door closing, maybe even the actual waiting to get on, like that dial-up sound.
Yeah, that's not me thinking of it, actually. That's a good idea. Many people would appreciate that.
And mind you, this is before. I mean, the away message is where you put your feelings and your emotion. That was your favorite.
And then if you just started dating someone, at the very bottom, you'd use white text against a white background, say, "Love Taylor," or something. And then I would put it with I would hide the message of girls who I wasn't even dating, and hopefully they wouldn't see it. Like, that's just how my 17 or 17 how old was I in 7th grade? 12-year-old brain would think.
And we all did that, man. So talking about concepts and putting things together, Left and Right, I feel like it's a song that should only be heard in headphones to get the full effect. And anytime I talk on the radio, I mention this is a song, I'm just being honest, better with headphones on, way more fun.
Better with headphones on, maybe not when you're driving, but yes, better with headphones.
Was it about one particular girl, or kind of a feeling that you just sprung into everything else?
It's I wasn't really even thinking about one particular like person when I was writing the song. I wanted other people. No, I was thinking about the audience listening to it for the first time and them thinking about whoever they would think about, if that makes sense. So I was kind of like going in multiple layers. There are songs where I was like on this album that you'll hear, October 7, that were like, this is about one person, clearly about one person. But with this one, I wanted to make it as universal as possible. So I was thinking about how other people would perceive it, if that made sense.
No, and I listen, I am a sucker for like the most minor effects, even back at like Life After Death, which is one of my favorite albums ever from Biggie.
Are you my best friend right now? Oh my God, that's my favorite album. The Chronic, Life After Death, and Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg. All records that would not be played on your station, but
Life After, like Sky's the Limit to me is a song that changed my life. Like,
this favorite interview of the day. That song made me, I remember when I heard that, I wanted to, because in the video, it's like the kid version of Biggie and Puth, and they're in this 90s mansion, and they have the S-Class, and they have the Lincoln Navigators with the sunroof all the way open, the windows down, and I just pictured myself like driving a fucking G-Wagon in Times Square and having all the windows down and listening to that song. And I now have a G-Wagon and I listen to that song. Wow, I can't believe you just said Sky's the Limit. That's the best song there.
The summer the album came out, like towards the end of the school year, I had a spelling bee. It was a spelling test, and timid was one of the words. And you know how it is when you're a kid, you learn a new word, you just start using it, right?
Oh yeah.
And the fact that my favorite line comes from the fact that I understood what Biggie meant when he said, "Stay far from timid, only make moves when your heart's in it, live the phrase, sky's the limit."
So he's just that internal rhyming scheme. His life got cut way too short, man. That internal rhyming scheme that he had was just, I don't know. I don't think there will be ever be anybody like him.
But even like, to me, like the effects of talking on the phone right before going back to Cali, where there's pump in this ear.
It made a movie. That's what I'm. If I can, that's what I tried to do with the sound effect and light switch, like all the vocals going left and right. I try and make the music video, and then when you see the music video, when you saw the music video for Going Back to Cali, and they're on the helicopters, they went crazy on those videos, like $2 million videos. The song would be so vivid in itself, and then you add the music video. I just think that's a lost art nowadays. I really think more people should approach making music like that.
So you make these grandiose sounds for a song to kind of create this massive picture or a movie, like you say. How much pressure do you feel performing these songs, knowing that by default things are going to be a little different? Mm-hmm. Is there more pressure, less pressure?
It used to. There's always going to be more pressure because I'm a perfectionist, and I don't consider myself to be the most incredible singer live, and it's never going to be the studio version, and that is always bothersome to me. But what makes up for it is the live reaction from fans, and the imperfections, I'm kind of teaching myself that the imperfections can add a lot of value to the actual song.
Of course. So when you're performing a song for the first time, like you did part of the summer concert series with Left and Right in New York City, for something like that, first time you're playing the song, do you feel like I need to make this work, or is it like, if it doesn't work, y'all got to hear the real version in like a couple days, or literally right now because it came out the same day?
That's true. I mean, yes, the B portion of your question. That's usually what I think. I try and make it when it's the first time I'm performing a song. I try and make it as close to the record, the original record, as possible to get people super familiar with it. I'm not going to go too avant-garde or too left of center with it.
So October 7th, Charlie, the album drops. What song should we look for on the album that we can go, okay, that's the one that he really put more into than maybe the other ones?
I'd say there's a record called There's a First Time for Everything and Smells Like Me. Those are the two and Loser, 3. I put a lot of effort. I put a lot of effort to all of them. Those are just my favorite. That's why I'm saying that.
So going back and performing, like I said before, you performed in New York City, the song for the first time. Are you looking forward to getting back and performing as often as possible?
Yes. Yes, I love traveling. I've come to realize that I write my best music when I'm traveling. So I'm looking forward to traveling and consequently coming up with some good songs.
What do you miss most about living back home in Jersey?
Ooh, the bagels. And they're just the bagels are special. And I miss the sarcasm of people. People are really I went into Rook Coffee in Long Branch, and I was like, do you guys have oat milk? And the guy was like, the fuck is oat milk? They're such wise. I miss the wise assery of Jersey a little bit.
I know for me personally, coming back to a big city, I did radio recently in Iowa and Ohio, and getting back into the big city, I knew like, oh, I could be more of a dick and the big city people will understand.
Yeah, I even when I go back to New York, I'm like slightly more dickish and just how I usually am. And then it's like kind of endearing in a way.
You just got to feel like it's 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning and you're at Nelly's in West Long Branch. That's the...
Yo, wow. Did I grow up with you or something? You hit me with Nelly's. What is it? The fat, what do they call it? It's the fat sandwiches.
Yeah, I used to get the fat blunt.
The fat blunt is why I get, because it has mozzarella sticks. Oh my God.
Mozzarella, bacon, grilled chicken, French fries, and it's one of those things, you take a bite, it pops out the back. I love it. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Pause. Did you have that before class like I did and just have heartburn the rest of the day? Because that's definitely what happened to me.
Charlie Puth, one more time, we appreciate you stopping by. October 7th is the album. Left and Right is out now. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Salute. Thank you, man.